Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is Monday Night Live in Lexington, where we go over a ton of stuff. And this is where we also explore what and who we are on this journey through life. Because it is difficult and we need all the help we can get. These Monday night shows are made to go over topics that we're all having questions or problems with. And then what I do is I put them on my YouTube channel. And whenever somebody has a question or concern about a certain area, I just share that YouTube video with them. Let's get into some shout outs. Hey to Melissa Begley, big kisses to you and Miss Cleo. Hey to Pauline, Ricky, Chastity, Trina, and Amanda over here on Facebook. Hey to all you guys over here on Instagram. Thanks for joining me this evening. For those of you that are on my professional page, Kathryn Kauffman, Psychic Medium, please feel free to hang out there and watch the show. If you want to join the live chat, though, I did leave a link there, so you can hit that link and come on over to the personal page where the chat is going on. Hey to Trina, thanks for joining us tonight. So tonight's episode is all about bioluminescence in humans. Are we made of flesh, or are we really light beings? Which I've been saying for how long? Close to 30 years. And just now we're able to prove this as a fact. I'm so excited to talk to you about this, guys, this evening. But before we get into our topic, I want to mention a couple of things. You know, October is huge for me. And so every weekend is totally booked up. I'm going to be doing the Bell Court Haunted Walk this year again. I'm super stoked about that. We're also doing the Lexington Public Library event this year. I believe it's going to be downtown at the courthouse this year. And then also, I'm really stoked about going to Warren County Library event. All of you guys out in Bowling Green, hey to you all. And I'm super excited to come out and see you guys this year. Again, if you guys have any questions about the content, just put them in the comments section. I'll be glad to get to those as soon as I can. Hey to Brandy, Dale, and Darlene Sturgill, Ruby Stokely, and Brenda J. Campbell Payne, Melissa Arthur Woosley, Megan, Donna, Tom Driver, and Donna Gates Rickett. Hey, hope you're doing okay. And healing up all right. And Sarah Backus and Sean Wilson, thanks for joining us. Another thing I want to mention before we get on to the topic is Wicked World Scaregrounds is now open, you guys. 3 fabulous attractions. I'm going to be out there this coming weekend. So, and I will post, you know, when we're going out there. So if you want to come along on the haunt with me, I'll probably be doing a couple of live streams. It's going to be a huge amount of fun. If you want somewhere scary to go that is super, super good, Wicked World Scaregrounds, 5817 Tates Creek Road. I will leave a link in the comments for you after the show. You guys got to go and experience it. Trust me, you will have a great time. Hey to Samantha Taylor, Charlie Eldon, and C.W. Rhodes. Now let's get into our topic. So how many of you guys know what bioluminescence is? You know, my first experience with bioluminescence was on probably some show on Mutual of Omaha where they were looking into deep sea creatures, or some Nova show, because I, like it as a kid, I was glued to PBS, just glued to PBS, watched it all the time. I watched Nova, have to admit that. There are a lot of shows on deep sea creatures and bioluminescence, And I just thought that that was the coolest thing. So Ricky wants to know, what are the dates and times? Oh, of Wicked World Scaregrounds. When I leave the link, all you have to do is go to the website. They have a calendar on the website, and it tells every day that they're open. I know for sure they're open Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. I think it's like 7:30 to midnight on some days, and Sunday maybe they close a tiny bit earlier. Anyway, so as a kid, I watched all these shows. I just thought that, you know, the deep sea creatures and the way that they bioluminesce was just awesome. But what is bioluminescence? You know, it's really a biological process through which light is produced and emitted by a living organism, resulting from like a chemical reaction within the body of that organism. So most often bioluminescence is a chemical reaction, and we'll get into that. Hey to Matt Frazier and Samantha Taylor, thanks for joining. Bioluminescence is not really a rare phenomenon, although we first really kind of saw it as kids on these shows on TV where the fish and different species of fish bioluminesce. But there are so many other things that bioluminesce, like bacteria, fungi, different kind of plants also do that. Creatures on land that bioluminesce. What? June fireflies. That's one that we have experience with a lot. Glowworms, other types of fungi also bioluminesce. So the main thing about bioluminescence is that it is a cold source of light. Now, it's only 20% of the living organisms that radiate heat when they bioluminesce. So it's really more typically a cold type of light. While some creatures emit this bioluminescence continuously, others will flash on and off the bioluminescence. Surprisingly enough, humans are one of those creatures that it is like a rotating bioluminescence. It's not a continuous one. Now, in marine creatures, it's more of a bluish green in color, but the colors that bioluminesce on land creatures are more yellow, violet, red, those type of in the color range. Now, what are the functions of bioluminescence? Like, why do creatures typically bioluminesce? Most often, it's classically to attract a mate or detect prey, or maybe to lure prey in. Maybe it's the blinking of it lures some kind of prey in. It can also be used as defense against a predator, or to communicate between similar species, some type of message. Hey to Kyla Bondi, thanks for joining. Also, it can be used in navigation a lot. So let's get into the chemistry of bioluminescence, because I thought that that was fascinating too, because this has to do with us as humans and how we bioluminesce. So the process, it has to contain two chemicals, luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. So when the luciferin reacts with the oxygen in the presence of the catalyst luciferase, it produces a byproduct known as oxyluciferin. And that oxyluciferin is the luminescent light which is emitted by the bioluminescent creature. Guess what? You do that. Yes, as a human, you do that. So, and this has been recently identified that we as humans bioluminesce. This is not something that we've known for a very long time. Hey, there's No Shitcast over here on Instagram. For those of you that are watching, on Wednesday night, I will be on a podcast called No Shitcast. You better know your shitcast. It's Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will leave the link on my Facebook page, and I would love for you guys to tune in, because guess what? I'm going to be talking about myself, my history, where I started with all of this psychic medium stuff. And so for those of you that have always been curious about that, you need to tune in to the podcast. Yes, Melissa, this is related to our aura. She wants to know, is this bioluminescence related to our aura? Yes, it absolutely is. Why? Because light and the color white is it's all of the colors contained together. And so all of the colors from our chakras and from our body are luminesced in this type of light. So now let's get on to another way that our body bioluminesces. Now, there are some ways that don't involve the enzyme luciferase, and these are reactions by combining a chemical called photoprotein with the help of a calcium ion. This produces the light. Okay, now one important thing about this, if you want to know more, you want to look up more, Dr. Gary Schwartz also conducted some experiments where he detected recorded biophotons from plants and humans. Now, the importance of this is that photons of light in this biophoton reaction are in the ultraviolet light range, and they are produced by a biological system. So what that means is the ultraviolet light range is something that our body emits. Now, we know that our body has to have ultraviolet light for a lot of different things, and we're going to go into that on a future show. Like maybe the next show, I'm going to go into the specific ranges of light that are the other ranges of light that our bodies emit. So there are 3 ranges of light. We have bioluminescence, we have infrared light, and we also have ultraviolet light. Now, ultraviolet light is not as prevalently emitted as infrared and the bioluminescence is, because it takes a great amount of heat to detect the ultraviolet light. But we know that our bodies need it. We know that we have to have ultraviolet light for a lot of normal body processes that we use on a daily basis, just as simple as making vitamin D. We have to have ultraviolet light. And we'll get into that probably on the next show, unless I do like a Halloween theme for the next show. But bioluminescence is where we're at for tonight. So how did we find out about this, you ask? Well, Japanese scientists, and this was at the Tohoku Institute of Technology, and I think that this was in 2009. What they did was they developed a special camera called a charge coupled device, or a CCD camera. And these cameras were designed to pick up the very first images of human bioluminescence. And this was created, the bioluminescence, from the cellular chemical metabolic reaction. And that gets into those luciferase enzymes and stuff. So the bioluminescent light from humans was considered an impossible feat before these Japanese scientists developed the CCD camera and were able to capture the images. Now, you're going to be really freaked out by the results that they got with these cameras. So what they did was they had a group of volunteers, and they sequestered them over a period of like a week or 2 and did successive pictures of the people. And this is the results of those experiments. Now, before we get into the results, I did post a poll on the page here, and you're going to see the poll up to the right underneath my name. There's a poll. It says, what area of the body is the highest concentration of bioluminescence? I want you guys to take the poll right now real quick before I go over it, and put which area of the body you feel intuitively has the highest concentration of bioluminescence, and we'll see how close you are. So hi to Frank over here on Instagram. Hello, and thanks for joining us this evening. And let me do a couple more shout outs. Hopefully you guys are hopping on there and going to fill out that poll for me. Hey to Tender, Katie, Nancy, Donna, Janet, William, Casey, and Sherry. Thanks for joining me this evening. So the results of the Japanese experiment is the human body emits light, which is invisible to the naked eye. You can't see this with the naked eye. This light is precisely 1,000 times weaker than the human eye can perceive, hence the need for those CCD cameras. Now here's what really got me was the human body emits light rhythmically and directly both, but more so rhythmically, like flashing on and off. Now, is that with, I wish they had put in the study, and I may try to, investigate further, is that with the beat of the heart, or is it separate? Like, is that different than the rhythmic beat of the heart? Does it have something else to do with the different part of the body? That's kind of one of the things that I want to know. Hey to Felicia, Sherry, and Soror, and Casey, thanks for joining us. So the human body emits this light rhythmically and directly. The light emitted by the human body is at its highest intensity late in the afternoon and at its lowest intensity late at night, perhaps when you're asleep. So that kind of makes sense because you build energy as you go through the day, and then the peak is in the late afternoon, and then it just kind of dwindles throughout the night. So to me, that kind of makes sense. Now, for those of you that took the poll that's posted right underneath my name on the right-hand side of the page, for those of you that took the poll, the forehead, cheeks, and the neck area of the human body contain the brightest intensity that's emitted as compared to all the other body parts. That's fascinating. So from here up is the highest intensity of bioluminescence, which, I was thinking if it's metabolic, shouldn't it be from like the truncal and the abdomen part? If it's metabolic and it's this chemical reaction in your body, why is the most intensity from here to here? I would like to know your thoughts on that and why you think that is, because this from here to here is kind of confusing for me. I would think it would be the metabolic part where your heart, your lungs, and your respiration and the heartbeat and the main circulation is, but it isn't. So that was really fascinating for me to find out. It was also noted that the brightest areas on thermal imaging of the human body absolutely did not correspond with the brightest areas on the human image of the bioluminescence. So your infrared emission from your body, the biggest concentration of infrared emission did not correlate to the biggest concentration of the bioluminescence, which I found very, very interesting. Soror says, I can't find the poll, but she says the heart. The poll is on the side of the page underneath my name where the title is. So you have my name and my page, and then the title of the show, and right underneath that is the poll. And then where the chat is happening underneath that, and the questions, those are all underneath the poll. Hopefully you guys will be able to find that. It's a new feature that they started on Facebook, and I would really love for you guys to find that and use it, because I just would really love to have another interactive piece to this, so that I could know your thoughts on it. Hey to Jill Jones. Melissa says, mind connected to sensory perceptions. That's what I was thinking, Melissa, because this is the biggest sensory input. Maybe that has something to do with the increased bioluminescence, or it could be that the consciousness is all here and here, and that's what's emanating out to everyone. I don't know, but Trina says brain, yes. But the bioluminescence they're saying is a result of the chemical reactions of metabolism. So it's kind of confusing that from here up is the greatest concentration of bioluminescence. But you know what? They've been working on this since 2009, and hopefully they will be able to figure out this, why this is. So bioluminescence occurs in humans due to metabolic reactions as well. When the cells of the human body respire, they produce highly reactive free radicals, and these free radicals interact with free floating proteins and lipids. And what that produces is these fluorophores. Say that 6 times fast, in which the human body leads to the emission of light. And remember, for those of you that are joining late, if you want to look up more about this, Gary Schwartz did some experiments where he recorded biophotons that were released from humans and plants. And biophotons are packets of light in the ultraviolet range, which we're going to cover in another episode. I want to go into more about how your body emits infrared light and ultraviolet light, and how it needs those wavelengths of light for you to live. So the CCD cameras observed that the upper bodies of the volunteers over a period of days consistently radiated the most amount of light. So now remember, this light is not visible to the naked eye, so you can't see it with anything but the CCD cameras. Now, this was interesting too. They found that the participants glowed throughout the day, with the brightest spots appearing especially around the forehead. Okay, forehead and cheeks. The dimmest bioluminescence was recorded really late at night, which makes sense because your metabolism is very low at night. And this wasn't infrared radiation caused by heat. Despite how the images might appear on the film of the CCD, those signals are actually from photons of visible light or light particles not caused by heat. So they were making sure that the bioluminescence didn't have anything to do with the infrared radiation. Now, infrared radiation is one of the things that your body emits. And I have been teaching this for many, many years with my clients, that your part of your spirit consists of these different kinds of light. And so the infrared light and the ultraviolet light are 2 wavelengths of light that we specifically refer to as spiritually connected. Now, okay, so the rest of my research kind of goes into infrared light and ultraviolet light, and I'm going to get into that on the next Monday night live episode. And if you guys don't have any questions, like, there's so much here, but I wanted to hit on one thing before we end for the evening here, that your body also emits more than just thermal radiation. Now, when I'm talking about thermal radiation, I'm talking about infrared light and ultraviolet light, or infrared radiation and ultraviolet radiation. But your body emits more than just that. It also emits an extreme low frequency radio band. Were you aware of that? That's crazy, but it's true. It's called ELF band. And this was first found by the Czech military. They did a study on this extreme low frequency radio band. And it can be found, if you want to know more about that, on www.measurement.sk. If you want to search that and find out more about that, which I'm probably going to go into that as well on the other episode. And this may turn into a 3-part episode, because we have infrared light, we have ultraviolet light, and now we have extreme low frequency radio band that our body is putting off. We are just so complex, and the energies that we emit into our ionosphere are just crazy. And it connects with the universe and that big web of energy, that plasma electric universe that we're all part of. And so I'm really, really excited to get all this information to you guys. And we will go into more next week unless I present something scary for you for next week. Now, if you want to see something scary, you want to know something scary, you've been like maybe part 2 or episode 2 of Black-Eyed Children or something crazy like that, or a new breed of aliens that you want to talk about next Monday night, let me know in the comments and I'll whip a show together for you. But otherwise, I will see you next Monday night. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you on the next episode. You guys behave yourself. If you have time, get your butt out to Wicked World Scaregrounds. Later, guys.